What's up, everybody? Extramillion here once again with the final episode of Totally Sick Fallout New Vegas Edition. The preceding footage was me grinding my way up to level 50. So in between the last video and this one, I got quite a few new perks, so I'll go over those now. The first one I got was Action Girl. That just gives me 15 more AP to use in VATS. The one after that is Adamantium Skeleton. That basically gives you a 50% damage reduction to your limbs, so they take less damage. After that is Bloody Mess, which gives you just a flat 5% damage increase across the board with all weapons. It also gives you these hilarious violent deaths, sometimes including like Mortal Kombat brutality-style explosions. After that is Entomologist, which gives you 50% more damage against mutated insects like Cazadors. After that is Grim Reaper Sprint. Once you kill a target in VATS, you get 20 more AP to use outside of it. Light Touch, which gives you a 5% critical chance while you're wearing light armor. Next up is Math Wrath, which reduces the AP cost of all actions by 10% in VATS. There's Nerves of Steel, which you regenerate AP by 20%. Or 20% more quickly than you normally do. And then finally, there's Just Lucky I'm Alive, which is one of 3 perks that you get at level 50, or you have a choice between those 3, depending on what your current karma status is, good, evil, or neutral. Since mine was neutral, I got that one. Basically, all of the level 50 ones grant you an immunity to critical hits, which is useful. The main reason I got it was because it gives you a 50% critical hit damage increase. So combined with better criticals, which is also 50%, I'll now be doing double damage with my crits. What we're doing right now is we're doing the final missions of the game, and the first part of that is going to New Vegas to confront Benny and get the Platinum Chip back. The reason I have that Power Fist is because there aren't too many weapons that are actually allowed inside the casinos. The only weapons that are allowed are holdout weapons and improved holdout weapons, which are the same, but usually more powerful, and you have to have a sneak skill of 50 to sneak them in. For some reason, even though it looks like a giant robot fist, the Power Fist that we got from killing Salt Upon Wounds in Honest Hearts counts as a holdout weapon.
Hey, babe.
First, though, we're going to make a quick stop to the bar to get the last perk that we'll have for this playthrough, called Day Tripper, which increases the length of time that all your chems last by 33%. And the way that you get that is you basically use 25 addictive chems, which we're pretty close to anyway because we've been abusing Med-X throughout this playthrough. It turns out that alcohol, like wine, beer, and those, also count towards addictive chems, and they have a very low addiction rate. So I basically just take a whole bunch of them really quick until I get Day Tripper. So now with Day Tripper, the rank 2 of Implant GRX and Chemist, I should have, if I tank all 10 ranks at once, I should have like 80 seconds of slowdown, which is more than enough to kill anything that moves.
What in the goddamn?
So here's Benny. We're going to pop a bunch of Implant GRX and then just waste him and about a dozen other of his guards in slow motion. And you'll get to see the effects of Bloody Mess in action. Once you kill him and all of the guys here that are shooting at you, you'll want to take the key to his presidential suite that you get off of his body. And you'll go upstairs, and inside his bedroom is a wall that's been busted out to reveal a hidden room. And inside that room is the guy who's going to give you all of the quests that you'll do for the end of the game. Only it's actually not a guy, it's a special Securitron that Benny reprogrammed named Yes Man. And he's called that because he has a cheery attitude, and he basically agrees to anything that you say. Yes Man is the 4th option in this game. He's basically an independent outside of Caesar's Legion, Mr. House, or the NCR, which is perfect for us because we're basically in everything for ourselves anyway, so it's nice to have the help of an army of killer robots to do your bidding. Also, if you couldn't tell, I switched my outfit. This is the Rebreather and Ulysses Duster that I got from killing him in Lonesome Road. Obviously, it counts as light armor to qualify for getting light touch. And it has the highest weight to damage threshold ratio in the game, where I think it only weighs like 2 or 3 pounds, but it gives you like 13 DT. And the Rebreather just gives you 50% reduction in radiation accumulation. So basically, it just gives you better radiation resistance. And I think it has a bit of damage threshold as well. So when you go talk to Yes Man, essentially he tells you that what you're about to do is the same thing that Benny was about to do. He was going to keep the platinum chip for himself instead of giving it to Mr. House, and then he was going to use it to take over New Vegas. So, naturally, we ask Yes Man how we would go about doing that, or the steps that would be necessary to do so. So the first step is to go basically eliminate Mr. House so that we can control New Vegas. So after we're done talking with him here, we need to go back to the Lucky 38 casino and kill Mr. House and implant, use the platinum chip to basically implant Yes Man as the software that will control all of the Securitrons. So basically you need to run all the way back to the Lucky 38. Once you're in the area that Mr. House is in, you have to access a computer terminal to get access to Mr. House's actual body instead of just the computer terminal that you usually see him as. Oh yeah, also there's Wolpes Inculta, our friend from Nipton, only now he's in a suit. When you step out of there, if this is the first time that you've actually dealt with Benny, as soon as you leave, he contacts you and says that no matter what your transgressions, Caesar forgives you, even though in the last video we sent a nuke towards him. But we're going to piss off Caesar's Legion again pretty soon anyway, so it doesn't really matter. There's also someone else you can talk to increase your favor with the NCR if you also bomb them like I did. So to gain access to Mr. House's body, you have to access these little computer terminals, like I said. The only way to get in here is to either have a science skill of 100, or you have to have the platinum chip. So once you get in here and you destroy Mr. House's physical body, you go back to Yes Man and let him know, and then you have to come all the way back here, so I'll be cutting out all that running footage. I'll just crossfade back here. And then you install Yes Man into Mr. House's computer, giving you full control over all of the Securitrons. The next objective that you have is to use the platinum chip and upgrade all the Securitrons, which should happen automatically. And then Yes Man will essentially task you with going to all the other groups in the game, or all the families, and deciding what you want to do with them for the final mission in the game. So you essentially get to decide what role they're going to play. So once you go install Yes Man, this cutscene automatically happens where he shows you how you upgrade all of the Securitrons. Apparently the Securitrons were running on old hardware, and old software, and the Platinum Chip allows them to use a lot of their other abilities, like a Gatling laser, a grenade launcher, rocket launchers, their cool machine guns.
Wow.
And they also have an ability to heal themselves. So it basically just makes them that much tougher. Now, there is actually a secondary objective, or an optional objective, where you can go to an area that's under Caesar's Legion's camp, and you can do the same thing to the Securitrons there. The only thing it really gets you is a slightly different event happens at the Hoover Dam, which is the final area in the game.
left arm contains an X-25.
And you get more Securitrons that help you, rather than just, I think you only get like 1 or 2 that actually follow you around.
And for close range suppression and crowd control.
But once you get done watching this, Yes Man tasks you with going out to all the groups and deciding what you want to do with them.
This is old hat.
Now, each of these groups has a quest that you can do that allows them to help you in the final battle. Or, once you meet them, you can just go back to Yes Man and tell him to ignore them, which is the lazy but quick way to get to the ending. Basically, you just go up to him and say, you know, I don't care what happens to them. It's none of your concern and it's none of my concern. 3 of the 5 groups we've actually already met, so that's taken care of. The 3 that we've already met are the Brotherhood of Steel, which we already met in, I think, the second or the first episode in the Hidden Valley bunker, thanks to Veronica, who was the first companion we recruited. The other 2 groups we met in New Vegas. One was the Omertas, who are the group that run the Gomorrah Casino, and the second were those weird guys in masks, the White Glove Society, who we met in the Ultralux Casino.
235% increase.
The other 2 groups are the Boomers, who hang out at Nellis Air Force Base, and the Great Khans, who hang out at the Red Rock Canyon.
Worthy of protecting it. I hope you enjoyed this.
So all we need to do is go talk to them real quick, and then we'll just tell Yes Man to ignore all 5 groups, and that will skip us to the very last mission of the game.
Every secure.
Also, the more we help Yes Man, the more it pisses off the NCR and Caesar's Legion. So you'll see these quests like Don't Tread on the Bear, and there's another one for Caesar that will come up. Yeah, Beware of the Wrath of Caesar. Basically, when you let those quests get too far into progression, both Caesar and the NCR can send sort of like hit squads after you. And a funny thing is that if you get both of them pissed off at you, their hit squads can appear at the same time and actually fight each other instead of you. But anyway, to get to Nellis Air Force Base, the closest location we have is actually Raoul's shack, so we'll just fast travel there and then run north. Those people approaching us are actually one of the NCR hit squads. They basically tell me that in 3 days, if I don't shape up, they're going to send a bunch of dudes after me to come kill me. But whatever, we'll have the game completed before those 3 days pass anyway. If they were hostile to me, it probably wouldn't really matter, because I've demonstrated that I can take on pretty much any challenge the game can throw at me thus far. The Boomers and Nellis Air Force Base will try to actually defend it from anyone approaching, so before I get there, I just pop a Med-X real quick, and then essentially they just launch rockets out of their base, and they hit at random spots along the road. So as long as you stay away from any of the cars that can explode, the rockets will do like negligible damage. Then when you get inside and talk to them, just, skip through all their dialogue, agree to whatever they want, and then that counts as you having contact with them, and then you can just teleport to the next area.
Hold it right there.
I'll take this from here.
Welcome, child.
Evening.
Alright, so that's all that the Boomers have to say. We just yada yada through the rest of their conversation, and just fast travel out of here, even though I guess we apparently agreed to help them with something. Which we're not going to do. Then we're going to fast travel to Spring Mountain Ranch State Park, which, as you may know, if you look to the right there, this is the area that's near that little encampment where we fought those the Viper Gang to get the Love and Hate brass knuckles in one of the earlier episodes. But if you continue to head this way, you get to the Red Rock Canyon, which is where the Great Khans are. Sometimes you have to go all the way into a house and talk with one of the head Great Khans to get credit for it. Other times you just have to enter the area. Sometimes it's a bit of both. I just run up here and I talk to some random guy that's wandering around outside. Basically, you just need to wait for the optional objective from Yes Man to just pop up and say that you've completed it. Once you've contacted all 5 groups, and then you go back to Yes Man and tell him to just ignore all of them, you have to go take a override chip that he gives you and put it in the El Dorado substation. The reason for that is so that he can gain more control over some of the things that happen at the Hoover Dam. There's also a mission that you can do to protect, I believe it's President Kimball is the president of the NCR.
Oh, hi.
But if you have a negative reputation with the NCR, you don't get invited to come protect him, so that quest is automatically failed and you just skip it. So yeah, we just told Yes Man we don't care what happens to President Kimball. So now we're pretty much locked in. We're completely shut off from Mr. House, the NCR, and Caesar's Legion. So we're pretty much on our own, except for the giant army of robots that we have. So the El Dorado substation is in between Black Mountain, that we went to rescue Raul, and the El Dorado Dry Lake, where we fought all those ants. Now, since the NCR is not, the 3 days haven't passed yet, they're not technically hostile to me. They don't really like me all that much, but they won't actively engage you. Otherwise, as soon as you get down here, they'll start attacking you. And actually, they still don't even attack me, even though this area is supposed to be off limits, and it says that it's off limits when I try to open the door. So once we do this, we'll run back to Yes Man for the final time.
One of the ranger vets looked at me.
And we'll head to the final area of the game, which is Hoover Dam. Now, once you get to Hoover Dam, what's supposed to happen is you run along the top of the dam and fight both the NCR and Caesar's Legion, and anyone else is there. You can choose to fight them all, or you can just ignore them. And then you're supposed to go into the Hoover Dam and go through a bunch of offices and install a second override chip that Yes Man gives you, and there's a bunch of other optional objectives and yada yada yada, but thanks to a bit of speedrun tech, we can actually skip all of that straight to the final battle with Caesar. Caesar himself would normally be a very tough opponent, obviously, but as we've shown in the previous episode, fighting much stronger people like Rar or Ulysses, or actually I think the guys that are in the optional areas that you get when you nuke the NCR and Caesar's Legion, the Dry Wells and the Long 15, the two bosses, or the two mini-bosses of those areas are actually stronger than Caesar as well. So we'll go to the dam and pop some more medics to reduce the damage, and then take a couple implant GRX so we can basically flash step through this area. And then you'll jump off the side into the water and swim alongside the dam until you get to a little rocky outcropping. And thanks to some rather wonky level geometry, you can basically jump towards the wall of the dam and then run almost straight up it, which actually sort of bugs out the level because it's not supposed to load the other part of the level that I'm in, which you'll see because there's two Securitrons who actually follow you into the final area of the game to fight Caesar, and there's supposed to be a bridge that they're going across. Well, in this, they sort of just spawn in midair and then fall because the game didn't actually load the bridge assets. Once you get into the final area, it's not really that big of a deal. Caesar has a couple of guys that surround him. You just murder all of them, murder Caesar. And then once you kill him, General Oliver, the general for the NCR, shows up and congratulates you and then sort of tries to take credit for you murdering everyone. And then we tell him to fuck off, and then we murder him. Or, well, I don't. I tell Yes Man to tell the Securitrons to murder him. So, all in all, this challenge wasn't super difficult. Obviously, the game wants you to use guns, but I think I've obviously proved that unarmed or melee weapons are obviously a viable strategy, even without companions, on very hard. This was definitely a nice change of pace from the brutal slog that became my Final Fantasy VII run. So we're finally at Caesar's camp, and like I said, it's pretty easy. You just run through here, murder all these guys, or you can not and just let the Securitrons that are following you murder them. But it's much funner to, or much more fun to punch them and watch them explode into little giblets. Fatality. Up ahead on this cliff here is Caesar himself. And then once you murder him, that's pretty much it. So that is the end of this, and I will leave you guys with the ending, and I will see you next time.
An envoy of fate. Another.